Hey man, welcome back to the show, the Therapy Unzipped podcast. Just me, Tom, today. Pardon me, I'm actually driving. You know, I kind of suck at time management skills, so I didn't have an opportunity this week with my good friend Brett to record a show, but I wanted to at least put something out there because I feel compelled to put something out every week to be of service, to provide some value to everybody who's watching and listening to us. And Brett and I deeply care about our audience. We deeply care about mental health and wanting to break the stigma and get people engaged, empower other people to be the best versions of themselves even when they don't feel like it. So anyway, hopefully there's not too much road noise this morning. I'm engaging in self-care, got a nice massage. Now I'm headed to the chiropractor, and then I got some chores I got to take care of just to be a good neighbor and whatnot. So anyway, this will be a short show, but I at least wanted to express my condolences for those out there who have lost somebody significant to them. It's always hard going through that level of grief, and this sparked the theme for the show, which is one heart, one mind, one soul. When I engage with other people in my therapy practice, and of course just person to person, friend to friend, family member to family member, even strangers, when I look into somebody's eyes, I see that they are a human being, and I see their suffering. I see happiness and joy. I see all the good and all the bad because I'm a human being, and that mirrors my own life. We're the same. We share a heart, we share a mind, we share a soul. And this is what I truly believe. Now, this isn't going along any religious lines or even any spirituality. I just believe that as human beings, we have the same experiences in life, regardless of the color of our skin, regardless of our cultural background, regardless of our age, regardless of our gender. We all share the fact that we are human beings, and we're trying our best, our damnedest, to navigate this life. And we want to have a happy life. I think that's what most of us really truly want. If you were to ask somebody off the top of their head, what do you really want in life? Sure, there might be some material things that they come up with, and there might be some state of being or some level of success or whatnot, but I think truly and deeply people want to be happy and to feel happy, and they chase that by trying to get a lot of money, by trying to have a lot of things, by trying to have the right person in their life, the right relationships, by getting an education, by having a certain career, all these things, but it's all geared towards them having a happy life. And I think what has made me the happiest in my life is doing for others, being of service to others. Now, that's just me. You have to find your own meaning and your own purpose, and I think that that is really important for you to define what is my meaning and what is the purpose of my life. And maybe that's day to day. Maybe that's just for today. My purpose is to take care of these tasks, or to be a good husband or wife, or to be a good father or a mother, or to be a really good friend. Or my purpose is to grow my business. Maybe that's your purpose for today. Some of us will have an arc or a theme to our lives, and that's what fuels us and gives us drive and a purpose. And as long as we're doing that every day, like mine is, to be of service and to help others, as long as I do that in some capacity each day, I'm happy. And it's a state of my mind, happiness. It's not something that is acquired by anything outside of me. Even if I do something for somebody else and they don't appreciate it, I still feel like I fulfilled my purpose for that day. So deeply and sincerely, genuinely, I feel that we share as human beings a heart, a mind, and a soul. I feel like we're all linked. I feel like we're all part of the same stuff. And whatever religious practice or spiritual practice you have, I think that this idea, this concept fits. that we're all united in some way. So this enables me to have deep compassion for everybody else that I come into contact with. It's not to say that people don't get me upset or anger me, or I see, people not fulfilling their purpose or having a shit go at life, or that they don't negatively impact me, because people do. However, I still go back to that in my mind. This is another human being. This is somebody who experiences true happiness and true sadness in their life. And even if they have not experienced those things, they're going to experience those things at some point. It's really okay. It's okay that that person upset me, because deep down, they're a human being and they're just trying their best to be happy and to find happiness in their life. And those out there who feel depression, who feel immense anxiety over the fact that things are not going the way that they want to, or they're worried about certain things happening, then I still have that level of compassion and desire to help them improve in some way, to help them become more inspired and empowered to fulfill a purpose in their lives. So I feel that we are joined, that we are linked, that we are the same. And I think if you hold that concept dear, then you'll start to see other people as being human beings, as being beautiful, as being perfect just as they are, because they mirror your own life. If you put good out there, karmically, we're going to get that good back. And even if it doesn't come back to you, since we're all linked, it's going to go to somebody else. So I will continuously put good out there, not in the selfish way of I want that goodness to come back to me, but I want goodness to go out into the world so that the world operates on that higher frequency, on that higher level. One heart, one mind, one soul. I truly believe this is true. And you can disagree, that's fine. You have the right to have your own beliefs, to have your own desires, and maybe you don't agree that the true goal for every human being is to find happiness. Maybe it's something else. But regardless, I hope that there's some aspect of this talk today, of this podcast, that resonates with you. Please, please, put good out there to the world. Do your best to find happiness in your life. Wake up and just be grateful that you woke up, that the sun came up this morning, that the world was spinning, that we have these opportunities instead of these problems that we have to face. You know what? Adversity and problems, those things are great because they help us to grow and become better. Regardless of what we have to face in our lives, we're still human beings. We still have all the trappings of being human beings, with weird thoughts and negative thoughts, and all the things that make us a human being, all the things of our body, all the smells and all the things we have to do. Each day, you have the power, you have the ability and the agency to make that a good or a bad day. It just depends on the meaning that you put towards that. And if you ascribe shit meaning to your day because this thing didn't happen, or because that person is not reacting to me in the way that I want them to react, then you're going to continue to have a shit day. And the more shit days you have, the more shit weeks, the more shit months, the more shit years you have. And if you have the power, which I believe you do, you should change that. You should focus on what's good in your life. And if things are not good, then you have to make them good. If you do not like the quality of your thoughts, then change them to thoughts that you would rather have. We feel like we're the victim of our thoughts. We feel like we need to blow things out of proportion because that's what our parents did, or that's what our friends do, or that's what we feel so inclined to do. But you do have the power to change the quality of your thoughts. And when you do, you change the quality of your emotional state, and it changes your behaviors. So if you have the power to change your thoughts, why not just do that? There are some ways in which you can start doing this right away. I want you to understand that the things that are happening around you, to you, in your world right now are neither good nor bad. They just are. They're really neutral. It's only when you put meaning to them, It's only when you choose to look at them from either a positive or negative light that they have an impact on you. So, for example, the rain is pretty innocuous for the most part, unless it's a huge thunderstorm and it's really, a hurricane or some bad storms. But let's just talk about when it starts raining, okay? You have a beautiful day. I live in Florida. Most days are absolutely perfect. And let's say it starts to rain and I'm out running errands and then the rain starts coming down. I can choose to focus on the positive or I can choose to focus on the negative. The negative would be, this sucks. I've got to run all these errands. I'm going to get wet. The things I'm buying are going to get wet. My clothes are going to get wet. My truck's going to get wet. It's going to smell. It's going to be nasty. This sucks. And the more that I focus on those negative thoughts, I start to feel irritated. I start to feel angry. I feel bad, just genuinely. And so that informs how I'm going to react to things, and that has an impact on my behavior. So I'm probably going to be rude, or I'm going to cut people off, or I'm going to be nasty. I'm going to be dismissive at times, and I don't like that about myself. So if I choose to focus on the more positive regarding the rain's good. The plants need the rain. The trees need the rain. It's going to wash off my truck. It's so nice because the temperature dropped, because oftentimes in Florida it can get pretty hot and the rain tends to cool things off. Plus there's a beautiful rainbow that comes. I know this is kind of kitschy, but just to be innocuous for a moment regarding the rain, because I don't think anybody really gets too bent out of shape about the rain. It's just kind of a mild inconvenience, not the huge thunderstorms or whatnot, just general rain. So I wanted to use that as a prime example of how we can go from positive to negative regardless of what's actually happening. It doesn't matter, it just is. But the quality of our thoughts regarding that, whether they're positive or negative, that affects how we feel in that moment, and that affects our behaviors, and that breeds same kinds of thoughts. So if we feel negative, we're going to act in a negative fashion, and that produces more negative thinking, because if I'm rude or nasty with somebody and they give it back to me, that's going to spark my thoughts about, hey, I don't really like this person. I hate that responded to me in that way. Screw them. And that's going to make me feel even worse, and that's going to breed more hatred and resentments and the likes. So anyway, you choose to see the things that are happening in your life, choose to see the positive and negative ways of thinking about that thing, and then more often choose the more positive. We can convince ourselves that our days are shit, or we can convince ourselves that our days are really happy and we are grateful to be in them. Why not choose the latter? You have the power and the agency to do that. Now, I know it sounds easy. It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. It requires a level of practice. And if I can do it because I'm a human being and we are one, then you have the ability to do that. I remind you that we are not our thoughts. We feel like that is us, but that is not us. That's just a component to us. Our minds, our brains, our bodies, our organs, our hands, our feet, they are just part of us. We control those things. We can't control the things outside of us that are happening around us. We can have some impact or some influence on other people or our world around us. However, ultimately, we cannot control those things, but we can control what's happening in our bodies. Now, if there are things from the outside based on, infections, those things we have a little bit harder time controlling, but we have resources, we have technology, we have medicine, things that can help. So make sure you take care of yourself and go to the right people that can care for you. Utilize these resources. We are not an island. We are not individuals. We are one. We are all linked. We are united. And I love that fact. If you celebrate that, then you start to see beauty in the world around us. You start to see people as being these wonderful creatures that are just dealing with life, trying to be happy, trying to do the best for themselves and for their families, And I honor other people, even when they're shitty to me. I still have respect and honor for them. At least I do my best to do that. So anyway, if this sparked some introspection for you, if that gave you more of compassion for other people, then great. If you want to have a conversation about this, then please drop a line to questions@therapyunzipped.com. Leave a comment for the show. Send us an email. Let us engage in this conversation. You know, maybe you like something, maybe you hated something. It's all good. But I want to engage conversation about this and about mental health, so that we can get better, so that we can support each other, so that we can be there to help bolster self-confidence and self-efficacy, and just make the world a better place. Because if we focus on the news and we focus on doomsday scrolling, it seems like things are getting shittier and shittier. But I choose to focus on the kindness of humanity and the fact that even if we're not in the best of times right now, if we just wait a little bit, if we put some positivity out there, then things are going to get really good in the future. I truly believe that, and I want to see that happen, and I want you to join me in that pursuit, in that mission. So anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you and yours are healthy and well, and that you take care and join us for the next show next week, where it'll be Brett and myself, maybe responding to listener questions, talking about some wild and wacky shit, or whatever. Who knows, man? It'll be a wild ride. I'll see you soon.